Shalom, shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahushai is to the world, and we call Jesus Christ. And the Kakwadash is the Holy Spirit, and the pillar of Hebrew, the honors to the other apostles, prophets, and bishops of great millstone who rule well in the spirit, teaching his word and believing his word. Lord, and the Most High to continue to put in their spirit to endure and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered folk into the earth, teaching his word and believing his word. Lord, will in the same spirit that they endure and be sincere. And shalom to the Aquatim that are believers of his word. Lord, willing you can continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving, silent, and virtuous woman. And Lord, will in the most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. My brother Jeremiah did a video today. Uh, let's see if we can find it. Yes,
Mean by pre-flood behavior.
this is a video he did today, earlier. Um, the nigga spirit is about to go bye-bye. Now, for me, the niggas, or the nigga mindset, that nigga spirit is not going to be able to understand the foundations of this truth. They're not going to be able to understand the spirit, right? Because uh, their head or themselves is too much of themselves. Logo, and that makes sense. They're too much of themselves. You know, they're trying to exalt and glorify themselves instead of exalting and glorifying Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Now you see this picture right in front of us, and only niggas fall for this. But when the truth sets you free, you start the things that you were attracted to, especially on TV. You see them for what they are. It says bread and circus. You are in the revised Roman Empire. You are in Rome 2.0, which is America. What is really the American um, organization is worldwide. It says fill up the horizon of their minds. To keep them in control was not difficult. George Orwell in 1984, right? Giving you sports, giving you entertainment to keep you in a sunken place. Now I'm about to just get a side precept if I may. This is the book of this is the book of Matthew, chapter 13. And anybody that's reading, of course, you probably heard this before. Matthew chapter 13, starting at verse 9. Who have ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. How much more is the mysteries, you know? Because the kingdom of heaven, Yahushua is a mystery, but even the prophecies is a mystery. Because everybody that's claiming to be children of the Lord can't even fathom and understand the prophecies, right? And that goes back to First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10 and 11, um, going into in order to know the Most High, in order to know the things and the situation that we're in, you must be moved by the Spirit. The only way you can understand the mind or the ways of Yahweh Shem Shai is the Spirit, right? And so, with the Spirit, you have to realize that you are living in Rome 2.0. The true children of Israel is going to hate this place. The true children of Israel is not comfortable, you know. And the ones that is comfortable is niggas. The niggas, man. Females and males. The niggas are comfortable in this shit, right? They feel that this is their home. They feel that Rome cares for them. No, they don't. They're making plans as we speak. Revelations 12 and 12. You know, they only have a short time, right? And their movement is always on motion. Let's go to Revelations 13 and 3. Gotta do this quick because I'm still at work. Revelation 13:3, and it says, "And I saw one of the heads, as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." Because when you go to same chapter, Revelations 1, all the way, Revelations 13, Salaki, Revelation 13, verse 1 all the way to 10, that's talking about Rome. You got to go all the way back to Daniel, the 7th chapter, and this same beast that was wounded and healed is Rome. Rome was broken down. Hold on, because you have moments in Edomites history where they fail, right? Let's just get this. You know, actually, we can go to this other one. I believe it's in Revelations 12. Is it 12? So how can maybe it's Revelations 20. So lucky for the laugh. My brother had made me laugh for a minute. Oh, here we go. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 2. It says, "And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and the Satan was bound 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe." Right? You go to Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, right? Where let me get that, you know, Second Ezra, the 5th chapter. This is Second Ezra, the 5th chapter, starting at verse 24. It says, "In all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee." Wait, Salaki. Yeah, I'm not liking how that is written down. So what I'll do is I'll go to my Bible app. Second Ezra chapter 5, going down to 24. It says, "In all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit." Right? This pit in this verse is a landmass. So when you go back into history, especially dealing with Esau, that landmass is Europe. Right? He have chosen thee one pit. So back to Revelations chapter 20, verse 3, "And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should receive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season." Now, if anybody can, you can go get what book is it? Oh yeah, you can go get the Babylon the 10 book 2 book, and you'll see where it says basically after Rome fell that when they scattered in the lands of Europe, the lands of Japhet, you know that Europe didn't have uh, uh, a growing economic foundation, um, agriculture, military, education. They were real low, and Esau dwelled in the caves. Right, and we can go to another little classic that we all use, which is Malachi the 1st chapter. That 1,000 years is not what people think. Oh, in the heavens, Satan was fighting the Lord. Nah, no, the real fight is gonna happen when Yahweh come back, right? But this right here is when when Rome destroyed Israel, slowly but surely, Rome was falling short. You even had Nero trying to make Rome great again, like Donald Trump, and I guess he made a fire and then blamed it on the children of Israel. But we got persecuted for that, and later on, 1 million Israelites fled from the Roman persecution, which is in Revelations, the 12th chapter, which was a flood. Now, I could go to that, but let's just go to this Malachi, right? What is the desolate places they went to go build? The desolate places in Europe, right? This is Malachi chapter 1, verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid the mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, lizards, Komodo dragons, snakes, right? Um, their foundation, Mount Seir, Basra, the places where Esau was at the time that where he was at, right? Verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I shall throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever, right? The Lord hath indignation against this nation. Sirach chapter 50, the Lord even says there's three things he detests, and one of them don't deserve to be a nation, which is the nation of Idumea, the Edomites, right? So the desolate places that they went to is Europe, America, Switzerland, Sweden, the Caucasus Mountain, France, Paris. They went to a lot of places and overconquered, just like when you go to Job, saying, where have you been? To and fro in the earth. And that's what Esau have been doing. That's his history, going to and fro and taking other people's resources, right? We're distracted from not actually knowing history, not knowing truth, right? Because we actually really don't care for it. Now, let me see. I want to show. I want to show. Okay, here we go. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 13. For to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a times and a half of time from the face of the serpent. And that serpent goes all the way back um, to Eve and that same spirit in Cain, but the actual serpent is Esau, which is an example of that dragon we read in the beginning of Revelation, the 12th chapter. You know, a red dragon. That red goes back to Esau, not a literal dragon, right? This is not a literal thing, right? This is like, this is a mystery, right? And so, what nation at the time, if we go read this, it even goes into Harad, killing the man child, right? You got the father trying to kill the man child, and then his son, who was persecuting Israel before uh, uh, Ishmael and the African booty scratchers got him. It was the Romans, right? And you could even go to Babylon and Timbuktu, and it will show you that great rulership, or on the other side of the hemisphere was Rome, right? Before, brothers started being sold for slavery, right? Before we went into the hands of Ishmael, right? Before we started really going into war with Ishmael over a false religion that Muhammad had made later on, and Israelites didn't want to consent to his religion, so he started persecuting Israelites. But let's just stay back onto the point, right? So, verse 15, and the serpent cast out his mouth water as a flood after the woman, right? He was basically telling his army, and that's what Rome do. Caesar, Augustus, right? They use their voice as a flowing water to send their armies. You have to go look in history and go see. Go look at 70 AD, I believe, August 30th, when Vespasian and his son Titus destroyed the temple, right? It says, after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. The earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth, right? Because Israel went into Africa, right? And then later on, after time and things get fulfilled, we get sold out of the African mountains where Israel was blending in. This is why you have certain Israelite tribes, but Israel started to get removed from their names. Second Ezra chapter 2, our names got removed out of the earth, right? And this was a big moment for the nations, right? You go to Judith, the 5th chapter, because we sinned against the Lord, we became weak. This is why we was able to be moved around, right? We became weak. I forgot where I was going to really go. I had another point, but it's okay. I'll go to Daniel, the seventh chapter, and I'll read verse 7 and 8, right? Because the eighth go into the little horn, which in Daniel 7, that little horn is America, because that little horn is connected to the fourth beast. The fourth beast in Daniel, the seventh chapter, is the Roman Empire. Then you have Daniel, the eighth chapter, which is another horn, and that goes into Antiochus Epiphanes, right? So this is Daniel, the seventh chapter, verse 7. It says, After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns, right? It was more diverse. And when Rome started to build, this is where you have that 10 horns, the EU, right? The NATO, right? Um, the European Union, right? And it's multiple of them. The Netherlands, Denmark, but they grew even more after, when things started established to the Western Hemisphere or the North Country, which is America, right? But you have to understand that um, the higher elites, starting with the banking family, had them in like the five major places where they wanted to put central bankings, right? So you got to know this empire expanded great just after verse 7, because this is all Rome, right? What we seen in Revelations where it said that it was wounded, Revelations 13 and 3, and then it healed. So let's see where it heals. Verse 8, it says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Wait, if the other three horns was plucked, you got to go back into history and understand the war that this little horn went through. Right, the French, the British, um, the British, and the Spanish War. Right, and a lot of our forefathers either played a huge role in that because that little horn established America. Now, if you got the spirit within you, you will understand these things, and you don't have to take my word for it. Go search your history, you know. But with the Bible, you have to know the mysteries. If you can't line up the mysteries, you won't get it. This is Revelation chapter 12, and just going straight to the point, verse 3, it says, And there appeared another wonder in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. The 7 crowns is like 7 kings, right? The 7 horns is seven kings or 7 governments, right? Which is the Greeks, Britain, Germany Major, Germany Minor, the Spanish, French, and Rome. These are Edomite heads, right? These are Edomite heads, right? These are Edomite foundations. However they orchestrated, this is under Rome, right? Because it said a great red dragon, right? Or whoever fits that description. Right? Let me see if I can get another one just to show you that that's still America because of that horn. This is Revelation chapter 17. I'm going to start at 3, but the point is verse 3. It says, And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying unto me, Cometh hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. That waters is people and languages. Who sits upon many waters? America. America sits and this is the biggest empire out of all the other beasts. Now, it's nowhere near bigger than Yahushua's, but out of the prophecy of Daniel and Ezra, because Ezra, which some congregations is flipping it, when you go to Second Ezra 11 and 12, it goes even further into, deeper into the Roman Empire, especially with the 12 Caesars, you know, right? So America is considered a horn, right? What is the queen city that they might say? New York, Buffalo, right? America, it stems from England, Britain, right? Verse 2, it says, With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, right? With the philosophy, right? And America was built off of the Roman philosophy, the Roman Catholic Church. And you got to know back in Rome, Rome was built off of church and state. America is built off of church and state, you know? It's built off of church and state, right? With a Senate house, right? Is the same as Rome, right? And they do they Luciferian Masonic shit that they did in Rome, and they're doing it here, right? Now, verse 3, which is the point. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of the name of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads is the 7 Edomite government, and the 10 horns goes into the EU and NATO. That's why America is one of the strongest empires on the earth, more stronger than Russia, if we could say, is because of the EU and NATO, right? But if they remove the EU and NATO from America, America will become weak. So if you want to go as a sidebar, you read the whole Revelation chapter 13. The same ideology or mindset is just like ancient Rome, right? Because then when you go further down into Revelation, the 13th chapter, verse 16, 17, they're going to try to put a mark upon you. And with Rome, they did gladiators. And look at America now; they're doing a new grade gladiators: UFC, boxing, basketball, soccer, so on and so on. Because if you know Roman tradition, they love entertainment. And if you know government policies in Rome, they did those things to distract you because they were doing mischievous things behind the scene. Go look at the TV show